Yes, yes, yes. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to the 98th episode of Babble with Bronies, hosted by none other than me, your new overlord TwilightIsMagic, and my lowly minions, formerly Everlasting and now Team Joy, and Mr. Tim. No, you won't get a webcam out of me today, but at least today. We'll see. So, I'm not sure. I actually have set it to this font. Let's try to see. Nah, it should be fine. Anyway, let's continue as we started. On the news today is just 3 items. The first one, brought to us by the usual suspects at the Question Daily, is the announcement of Wave 12 of the Blind Bag Ponies. That is apparently a bunch of repeats. And it will be coming in March 2015, so if you missed any of these fine ladies, and non-ladies hopefully, just ladies, you can pick this up if the blind bags are available near you. The second piece of news is that later this month we'll be having a sort of live stream dedicated to charity and organized by a bunch of convention organizers. That's Organizers Option for You. They'll be having a nice lineup of people there. Yes, the links. Here is your first news link. And to get back to the news, the star participators of the live stream will be DM Barrow, the author of the Pony books, and apparently the grand prize of this charity live stream will be having your idea written out by none other than herself, DM Barrow, and illustrated by one Lickfish, who you may or may not know is a rather fine pony artist. Anyway, that's about it. And the third piece, which I like the most, I believe, it announces, what is it, the second or the third pony game that is available commercially. It's called Adventures in Equica Unicorn Training, and a trailer has recently been released, and it is coming to Google Play on the 14th of November, so pretty soon. It's a nice little game, if a bit simple. I'm not going to be showing the trailer, but it's a bit reminiscent of a small and obscure title called Magic Maker, which is not really important. Anyway, it's a nice little game, and seeing as it's a pony game that is available commercially on Google Play, if it's available for you, do pick it up. Alright, now we get to the meat, the main course, whatever you want to term it. I'll continue EJ's tradition and ask you art or videos Up on the left you can see how much of either or how much of each we got. There are just 2 videos and a whole bunch of art. Make your choice. Seeing the majority of our videos for now. Anyone else? Anyone? Videos are winning out. Okay, let us go to videos. The first one is the adorable derpy face right here shows us, is called The First Muffin by one called TS Animations. Ready? Ready. Did you find the noodle? Because I found the noodle. So yeah, and that's how Derpy Hose was made. Yay! Also those video suggestions, seriously. But yes, good job animator. It was rather nice. I see you're here in the chat, so if you want to say something, go right ahead. Here is the link. I'm just waiting to see if TS Animations wants to say something. Thank you for making it. I'm hoping for more from you, because this is promising. It's a nice little thing. If this is all, we're going to move on to the next video, which is a PNV. Yay! Well, I hope we'll get to showcase it next time. And for now we're going to move on to the PNV by one who you probably know by now, called the Eclipse, and the PNV is called Unity. Apparently it's kind of tribute PNV to another PNV, so it's PNVception. Anyway, on to viewing. And this is it. The Eclipse is a nice BwB maker. As you can see by the suggestion list, he has made quite a few of this type of BwBs. The music is by Evening Star, as you probably noticed. Evening Star makes some very nice instrumental and orchestral kind of pieces. And yes, the Eclipse style is this kind of more subdued, not overly seizure-inducing, which I really like. Alright, this is it for the video, since the Eclipse could not be here with us today. And let's see what we have on offer for art. Eeny, meeny, miny, pony, pony, pinky. Let's go with this. You're Never Gonna Bring Me Down by MRS 1989. Since Rainbow Rock stuff is legal to show here on BwB, I couldn't resist picking this one up, because while it is a little bit out of bounds in terms of time, since it was made last week, I could not resist picking this one on, because, well, look at it. Look at her. It's probably one of the best pieces by the maker in terms of both the background and the character detail. Well, if you've seen the movie, which you hopefully have, since we streamed it 4 times by now. If you've seen it, you know the context, and you also know why I love her so much nowadays. And hopefully we'll continue doing that. And hopefully going to see more pieces like this from both MRS 1989 and others. Yes, great job, great job. Here's your zombie link. We'll continue. This next piece is called Rare Rarity by Frantic Lava. And you see why I couldn't pass this one up. Look at her. Look at those ears. Look at that pose. And of course that face. Just look at her, really. Look at her. It's really very, very pretty, at least to me, seeing as I like Rarity a lot. I also can't help but notice how well the tail is done, as well as a somewhat different and very pretty take on her hairstyle. Yes, it does have a lasting joy, and I honestly love seeing Rarity like this. Here's the link so you can go and hack her. And yes, she's Best Spy. Our next piece. No need you are in the audience, pity. Oh well. Our next piece is called Commission number 20 Harmony by one called Keyblade Pony, who is a very fine artist, who I really recommend for commissions. I've done some by them myself, that is, I've ordered some. It's nice. Anyway, this here is apparently a ponification of the Harmony tree, which is a curious idea, but look at her, it works. What I picked this one for is the work with the palette, because it's very light, it's very... I'd say it's rather low saturation. The colors are all kind of muted, but at the same time the artist makes it work. Everything looks quite white and crystally, but well, at the same time it doesn't look, you know, dead or lifeless or cold, things like that. No, it kind of looks lively in a good way. It looks like just a whiter version of a normal forest, which is very nice. And yes, once again, the Keyblade Pony style is very, very, very lovely in terms of detail and their take on the pony form. Here's the link. Let's see if I haven't been forgetting. Our next piece is Commission Coco Pamel by Arastain Serife. And well, you can see why I picked this one. Mostly the style, and in part is because I wanted to have Coco on my stream. Goes to show that ponies work in a whole multitude of styles, from this kind of more simple approach to the more detailed ones like we've seen previously. And yes, the work with the face is probably the best part of the picture, although the pose itself is also good. This work with the hind legs is nice. Well, this Coco Pamel, of course it makes you want to hack her. It's always about this. It's always... she's always huggable, seriously. Here is Yerlink. Our next one is a collage of plushies called You Play Your Part by none other than Nazagorin, who you probably know from all the endless plushes she makes, which are also rather good. At first I just wanted to show her Celestia, seen over here obviously, but when I saw her submit this, I couldn't resist putting this on instead, because it's 4 for the price of 1. Sadly, it's not a deal that she offers, because I totally buy all this, but having all this both showcases her work and what she is able to do. Look at that Twilight, seriously, and also that Luna. And it happens to be a pleasant piece. Arranging plushes like this actually makes sense and is a good callback to the episode. Yes, I also love it when plushie makers really get more creative with taking pictures of their pieces and not just taking shots from various angles. As Nazagoring said in the description to her other piece just featuring Celestia, it was an interesting experience making the princess pattern, as she doesn't do that often or much, or I forget if she does it at all. So in a way I would call this her masterwork in a way, doing something she never did and doing it perfectly, almost, mostly at least, and I would say she did very well. Here's your link. Our next piece. Man, we're going to be done with this too quickly. Yes, I would mean that. Our next piece is called Bad News by Raiding, and you can see why I wanted to pick this one and add it to our showing. First, there is not that much great traditional art. Well, there is a lot of great traditional art, but there is not that much great black and white graphic art. Look at what Raiden did with all the shading. Look at what he managed to accomplish and how much depth and color portrayal he managed just with black and white. And generally shades of grey. Don't make that joke, please. It's mechanical pencil and charcoal, so yes, it happens to be charcoal. I'll zoom in so that you can appreciate the fine detail. Look at the detail on the armor, look at the detail on the banners, and on the ponies. I really like the light from the window. The candles add the great foreground elements that help ground the space, ground our perspective. It's fun to see the board guard here. Raiden does a lot of work of this type, so do check him out. Here is the link so that you can do that. Right, our next piece is Madness by Wolfram Klaus. And I could not resist picking this one because first, there is not enough sombra. Second, the title of the piece is quite descriptive because, well, look at that face. Wolfram Klaus managed to show a great lot of, well, meaning and emotion in this expression. It indeed does seem to capture madness. He's crazy. Look at the eyes. He seems to be absolutely nuts. And that's the point. I also really like the work with the muscles, the work with the mane, and of course the shiny metal that happens not to be plastic but actually metal in this picture. Also, he looks kind of cosmic here, like Luna perhaps would. And yes, Matt, that's an apt description. We should actually Photoshop it on a picture of you. It's a nice one. Anyway, our next piece is Power Ponies by Space Kitty. And I could not pass up the chance to show this kind of collage. of power ponies here on our stream, particularly on my stream. I like that episode. He managed to make Flutterhawk look, at least in the head part, pretty, which is nice. Not as monstrous as in the episode, I believe. Each of the power ponies seems both well rendered and represent their personalities, at least as shown in the episode, very well. Start with Pinky, or Fillisecond, however you prefer, and all the way to Spike Scrumdrum. Couldn't resist. Also, each of the ponies is surrounded by a kind of emblem of their own. Yes, this could make a very fine comic cover. For a first issue, perhaps. Here's the link. And one of my favorite pieces this time around is Finally Princess by Sianika. You can see why I picked this one, and actually it was recommended to me by absolutely everyone. I asked whether they want to recommend me anything for showing anything this week. First thing they linked, this piece, Finally Princess. After Rainbow Rocks, really. I could see this happening. A few seasons down the line, sure, but still. And by that time, Sunset will have earned it, certainly. As Seneca, him or herself, I forget, puts it, I believe in Sunset Shimmer. She's going to be a princess one day. And they even list the ponies present in the picture, which is not that hard. Yes, Mr. Ben, this could be indeed possible. She has a rather interesting headcanon for Sunset here, that she may have felt neglected and did not get nearly enough attention from Celestia, which I could see happening, given Celestia's style. Twilight seemed more suited for that style, but Sunset could have different approaches and different feelings about it. Anyway, she's indeed better now. I really like the lighting, the classic particles to show it off. Everyone has lovely expressions. Of course, the obligatory Doctor Who reference. And yes, button mash. It's kind of funny to see Luna's dress here. It's a bit those stars, really. And Cadence tops that, I believe. Right. I forget if I Yes, I did. Good. Here's your link. Let's hope for more sunset art in the future, and for more scenic art in the future, of course. Our next piece is Knit 1 Purl 2 by Lepodity. Does this need an introduction? Nah. The return of the Grandma Discord from Keep Calm and Flutter On, as you remember, hopefully. And Fluttershy. 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 Also, the description has to be read. Fluttershy figured learning some constructive hobbies could aid in discourse reformation. By the next day, he had covered all of Canterlot Castle in hand-knitted, decorative tea cozies. Fluttershy still counted it as a win. Yes, I believe it's a win. They're gonna need a bigger sweater. And yes, as probably half the commenters mentioned below, Fluttershy with braided hair is cuteness taken to a brand new level. I love pieces like this. They are not particularly complicated, but they are very, very lovely. We need these things. We do. Prepare yourselves for our next piece. Seriously. Because our next piece is by none other than Death Pony, written with W, and it's called In Her Element. You have been warned. You cannot stop the fluff. You cannot. I'll let her speak for herself. I also advise to look at the background here. And yes, it's fully animated. We can pause her. She stares into your soul. Wish I could enlarge it. Apparently it took him ages to make it. And yes, Death Pony is very good at this 3D stuff. This is already something nice. Indeed, Everlasting Joy, he is doing some sales of his 3D prints. You can see it here in the More by him. Some of these he is selling. Let's spin Pinky again. Really though, he's one of the few who makes fully fluffy coat ponies that are not overly fluffy like Flufflepuff. And it's fun to see. Here's Yearling. Dev Pony is good, and he's been our friend here at BwB for a whole lot of time, so we have a double interest in promoting him, because he's good and because he's our friend. Deal with it. Of course it is. And yes, he's managed to turn a 2D character into 3D very nicely. He's even managed a nose bridge, although it's bigger than on the standard side views. Anyway, our next piece is called Echoes at Arms by none other than Assassin Monkey, the fellow whose streams I used to frequent a lot more than I do now, but who's still a cool artist. Here he presents to us a lineup of a pony progressively getting more and more armored. First you can see this, well, standard pony, with his notably improved head shape. He's gotten a lot better at this. He's become much better at this than a year ago. Before they used to be honestly kinda monstrous, but now they are both show-like and very expressive, and well, they look like very good ponies. And here it continues. More armor. One critique that was given to him that I agree with is that this armor is meant to be metal, but it looks like polished leather or plastic, which yes, I see here, and which I hope will be fixed in due time, but it's nice as it is. It's a frequent thing to see, and who knows, maybe it is polished leather. Here's more armor, if you thought that wasn't enough. I do share his passion for armored ponies, because, well, there is something interesting about trying to put armor on such an unconventional design. Armor that will work and will not just be decorative. Here's more armor. He does a lot of this. He streams daily, actually. And every day he does something. It's normally between around our BwB time and lasts for at least 2 hours. Yes, this is totally a plug, but he's a nice guy, and his streams do not intersect with our streams that much, so where's the harm? And here's the final version. I really like it. So yes, well done AM. Well done as usual. Yes, this is chainmail. And I like those inclusions of different armor types. This is cloth reinforcement, this looks like both metal and leather. This is chainmail, and this is pony. Pony armor is best armor. Just armor yourself with ponies. Anyway, our next piece is a plushie. Rarity Lying Beanie. I hope she is not a liar, but well, could you not trust those eyes? I don't know. One look into those eyes and I'm charmed. Yes, she turned out very well, I would say. The different fabric parts for the different parts of her mane make sense, since it's this way in the show too. And of course this face. I'll actually zoom in, let her look into your soul. Look into her eyes. Let rarity flow through you. So yeah. If you haven't figured it out by now, I like rarity. I wouldn't care, Mr. Ben. I would just hack her again, then steal her mane, then hack her again. I would just brush her mane again. Anyway. Our next piece is called Canterlot Lake by Plain Oasis. I'll just zoom in to let you take in the entire picture. I really like when pictures like this make good use of kind of sketch strokes, sketch style that turns to be painterly, kind of more reminiscent of classic art, oil on canvas. Yes, this is digital of course, but successful emulation of oil on canvas in digital media are nice. And yes, those reflections are very well done. Although the biggest reason for why I picked this was first the palette used, because everything is very nicely color shifted because of the sunset. And second, the lighting itself, because, well, look at the wheat, I believe. Yes, the crops in general. Look at how the light is rendered on their sides. Look at how shadow is rendered. Because, well, I don't know about you, but I've seen places like this minus the Great Big Mountain and Canterlot and Sentient Ponies, sadly. Yes, exactly, Mr. Ben. We're gonna paint happy little lake, happy little trees and happy little ponies. And yes, base jumping from Canterlot must be quite fun. Even better if you're Pegasus. Anyway, nice bird. And nice work with the science. Nice everything actually. Let us move on to our comics. They're actually next to no voiced lines. Second. Too bad. So sad. Boom. Killed just like that. Right, so let's see which one we'll choose. I believe this one is going to make a good first comic. It looked good on paper by Draw Ponies. There was just one line of dialogue, I believe, so I'm going to do the voices. And I'm going to do the background noise too. So, let us begin. Let's get little set. Idea. Crash. Boom. I can explain. And she apparently lost her wings. Oh well. Actually, this sounds like a nice idea of fixing her flying problem. So yes, this is a comic called It Looked Good on Paper by Draw Ponies. Don't draw ponies, though, draw them. And of course Rainbow Dash has some of the best faces in the entire franchise. Always. All the time. Every episode. Rainbow Dash has some of the best faces ever. It's magic, Mr. Ban. Seemingly celestial magic. And who knows, maybe that's actually two small rotors up there and they are working in different directions and cancel out the torque. Well, the same way as Tan can land. Apparently Tan can activate and deactivate this propeller at will. Anyway, I believe I can do the next comic by myself too. And the one after that, so today I'm not going to invite anyone on my rightfully stolen stream. I have done rightfully stole it. This is Pinkie Pon by Beavernator. I wish he was here. So yes. Creep, 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 creep. Quail cheese sandwich. And to continue. And to this day, that band has been used 1,120 times. Wow! You keep track of stuff like that? Mm-hmm. How many people have you made laugh? It approximates Graham's number. What? You've only been a character on this show for 15 minutes. How can you? It's pretty simple. And I'm not going to click whatever link was down because I didn't check it. Oh, speaking of, I forgot to link to the first and to the second comics. Hi, Rain. Our next comic is called Secret Show by none other than Uotapo, the EKG fan artist extraordinaire. Secret Show by Uotapo. About an hour after the incident, you know which. Battle of the Bands final, Dazzlings vs Trixie and the Illusions, and the guest performers Celestia and Luna. Sponsored, of course, by Flim Flam Brothers Everything Under the Sun Emporium and Sugar Cube Corner. Bim. Wink. Dress, boots, Celestia. Bing. And here we go. You can dance, you can jive, having the time of your life. See that girl, watch that scene, digging the dancing queen. Boom, 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 boom. And Rainbow is going insane in the background. Look at Rarity. Look at everyone's reactions. And Rainbow is still going insane in the background. We now know Rarity's taste in music. What she likes. Apparently this. But honestly, look at them. It's a pity that this didn't happen in the movie. Yes, you should. And actually, this is all for art, and we are right on time. Perfect. Rainbow Dash, the opposite of victory. Yes, here's your zombie Link. Someone resurrect him, please. Well said, Enigma. Hey, anyway. Let us move on to the episodes. Today we are going to be watching my favorite episode of Season 2 of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. That is not the finale. And this is episode 22, Hurricane Fluttershy. Let us begin.